All right, good morning, guys. First, I want to apologize for that other video. I did it with my car speaker, and I guess I didn't realize that my car speaker makes me sound like a robot. So, apologies for that. If this one turns out bad, I'm trying to do it with my headphones because I am driving. So, if this one turns out bad too, just let me know. I will take it down and I'll just record it like I normally record the videos without any headphones or anything like that. But I will try to my best to remember what I said in that video, and give you guys just kind of the final wrap up of my experience with this company. So I, again, am not endorsing this company. I am not being paid by this company. They do not, pay me to do a review on them or anything. I have allowed them to put my name on a post on Instagram to let people know that I did get pregnant using their product, but that was only because when I set out to search for this product, or when I set out to search for a product, no one had done a review on this one. They have a ton of testimony posts, but there's no name attached to them. So you couldn't reach out to anybody and ask them what they had done, what they hadn't done, what advice they would give somebody else. So that was important for me to become that person that people can reach out and talk to. Now, if you have added me on Instagram, know that we don't plan on sharing anything on social media. We have lost 2 last year, one of which we shared pretty heavily with family, and it was kind of devastating for them when we lost that one. So we don't plan on sharing anything on Instagram or any sort of social media that we are all a part of. So apologies for that. If you have questions, you are free to DM me. I've left my email on these videos, these YouTube videos, a couple of times, so you're free to send me emails, whatever you're comfortable with if you have a question that you need answered. Sorry, I'm driving, so my eyes are going to be diverted from the camera sometimes. So kind of to wrap up that last video that I made, I found this company after my fertility company was not doing elective surgeries anymore, so they were not going to bring me in to do a scar removal surgery until they got the go-ahead for it. Like I said, my husband and I were going to stop trying around May, June. So this was in March, so I knew we didn't have a big window left. So I didn't want to wait and see, and no one could have predicted that COVID would have lasted this long. I didn't want to wait and see what would happen with that. Now, I don't know about you all, but I am a firm believer that there are FBI agents watching you, and that's why when you think of something or talk on the phone with somebody to something, it automatically appears on your social media all the time, and it's now in your feed everywhere. And so when I spoke to the fertility company, this company started popping up on my timeline all the time. So again, I couldn't find anybody that had reviewed. I couldn't find any YouTube videos. So when my fertility company, like I said, stopped bringing in patients and clients, I decided that it was worth a shot to try it. Couldn't hurt to try. If it didn't, I was hoping that they'd be back open in April, and then I could say at least, we tried something. So I ordered it the end of March. It came that first week of April. Like I said, I ordered it on a Saturday. It came on a Friday. I started it on Saturday. I did the 7 days of oils. I did the pills with the oils. And then I also, like I told you guys, started a prenatal, as a just in case. I think I started it on the 4th of April, if I can remember my dates correctly. Like I said, I did the 7 days, did the oil. My box of 50 pregnancy tests from Amazon, which I will actually endorse and recommend. We all know that pregnancy tests are expensive. When you buy them from stores, they're like $20 for a pack of 2. Great, but on Amazon, you can buy a pack of 50 for, I think it was like $14, which if you are a habitual tester like I turned into, it was perfect because I didn't feel like I wasted money. So on the 14th that came in, I decided to test. I honestly don't know. I think it's because it was 50 and I didn't care. Came up positive. So again, I started on the 4th, tested positive on the 14th, reached out to the company, let them know that I was positive. that I had started these YouTube videos if they wanted to share with anybody. So at least people had a face to it, a name to a face, if they had questions or wanted to reach out. Now, again, you all know that I got kind of some mixed information about it. Initially, I was told, once you get pregnant, stop taking the pills to have a healthy pregnancy. I concluded, again, the company didn't say this, I concluded that some sort of abnormalities maybe would be present if you continue taking the pills while you were pregnant. But when I got pregnant and reached out to the company about it not being twins, we did a 6-week ultrasound after I had some pretty severe cramping, and kind of got a little nervous. We did a 6-week ultrasound. They were able to find heartbeat. Baby was fine. So I reached out to company, let them know that it wasn't twins, and was told that I should have continued taking the pills because then the embryo would have, it splits within the, I can't remember. So it was like it splits within the first 30 days of you taking the pills, even after conception, which we all know is not true. So again, we weren't trying for twins. We were just trying for a baby. I have 4 from a previous marriage, so Lord knows we did not need twins out of this at all. So I will let you guys know, baby is doing fine. You can't really see. I'll get out of the car here in just a second and show you all. Is doing fine. We've had an ultrasound at 8 weeks. It was actually moving. It did like a wiggle and then got tired and did not move anymore. Heartbeat is looking great. I am officially 11 weeks today. So we're still not telling family. I made it to 12 weeks last time. So we're hoping to get to like 13, 14 before we start sharing really with anybody at this point. I haven't even told my children yet. Even though my daughter keeps asking me because I look very pregnant, unfortunately. So that is kind of my history with the company. I will give you a couple of pieces of advice if you are going to buy this product. First, before I give advice, please don't ask me if you should buy this product. I don't like people spending my money, so I have a really hard time with spending other people's money. So don't ask me if you should buy it because I don't know what your money situation is. I know that it worked for me and my family, but I know that it's not a 30-day guarantee because I have talked to many women that have taken it that have not gotten pregnant in those 30 days, but they have continued to work with the company to achieve pregnancy, either that be through them sending them more oil or more pills or a discount on the next round or whatever the case may be. So I know it does not work in the first 30 days, but I know people that have continued to work with the company that have then gotten pregnant. So I will say that it worked for me. You make your own decisions as a family, but I will answer questions if you have them. But please don't ask me if you should buy it because I don't know. I can't spend your money. I can only spend my own. But my advice to you is this. If you buy the super kit and you are really for twins, I would make sure that you have an app of some sort that is tracking your ovulation cycle. I used an app called Eve, and then I had my health app that's connected to my Apple Watch to track my periods and my ovulation just to find out kind of what my cycle was. When I got pregnant with my other 4, my cycle was very consistent. It was 28 days. I knew when it was going to start. The morning that it didn't start, I knew I was pregnant with every single one of my kids. That was literally the only way that I knew I was pregnant. I never had any symptoms. Boobs never hurt. Throw up. Nothing with my other 4 led me to believe I was pregnant besides my period not starting the morning that it was supposed to. With my age now, it fluctuates. So it is anywhere between 23 to 28 days. So my first piece of advice is to figure out an app that tracks your cycles. That way, you know if you are an early ovulator or a late ovulator, if your periods are regular or irregular, because it does matter. Because if you're ovulating early, then obviously you want to have sex earlier in your cycle, as opposed to if you ovulate late, then obviously you want to have sex later in your cycle. But my second piece of advice is just to have a bunch of sex. Like, you really don't know. I know, Car. You really don't know 100% about your cycle and your ovulation unless you're doing one of those like ovulation kits, which are like $40, and I just could not bring myself to spend that amount of money. I literally would say have a bunch of sex. That way you don't miss out on an ovulation that came early if you thought you were later, or miss out later if you thought you were an early ovulator. So have fun with that. It's tiring, but it's doable. If you are on the super kit and you are trying for twins, I would recommend that you don't start the oil until after your ovulation cycle, because then that will give you a full 30 days of oil and peels to take. If you don't care about twins, kind of like how we did, I would absolutely recommend that you take it during your ovulation cycle. I think the thing that helped me the most was that the oil, I felt like, because I could feel it, ripened my uterus for implantation. And then once it did, I was able to get a hold of my doctor, get blood work done, and get on progesterone pills. And I honestly feel like if it wasn't for those, I would not have been able to maintain this pregnancy to the length in which we have, because I hadn't been able to maintain the other ones. So I think that taking it during my ovulation cycle was a huge bonus and help in getting this pregnancy to stick. And then obviously getting on the progesterone pills has carried us this far. So I would recommend, again, a bunch of sex, because you don't know, an app of some sort to track ovulation and your periods to see if you can get them, or see if they're regular or not. I would also recommend that if you are on the super kit, that you start it during your cycle if you do not care about twins, about getting pregnant with twins, or start it after your ovulation cycle if that's what you're going for, because then, like I said, you'll have that full 30 days. And that is what they told me I should have done if I was going for twins. So I'm low-key glad that we did not. I'm trying to think. I cannot remember what all I said in the other video, but I feel like that might have been all of the suggestions that I made in the other one. Obviously, you guys, I'm always available if you have questions. I will say, though, moving on to the other videos, I'm not endorsed by any of these companies, but what I really think is cool is that there's a lot of new and updated products that weren't around when my kids were born. Like, my youngest is 6, so like I'm at that like 70% bathroom like alone time, and like 90% I can shower without hearing her like, "Mommy, you hear me?" like at the door type of thing. So like I feel like I'm at like a second part of parenting when now we're going backwards. But there's a lot of cool products that I am finding my FBI agent thinks that are really necessary for me to have. So some of them I have not been able to turn down. So I got this really cool seatbelt attachment that I was going to, once I tell my children, obviously, I was going to put it in my car, and then I'd show it to you guys. Because I didn't know wearing a seatbelt, just like regular, can actually be harmful to baby. Like, who would have thought of these things? But nonetheless. So I will jump out and show you all. These people at this gas station probably think I'm crazy. Because someone did ask me that. They were like, "Are you actually pregnant?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I've never really shown the belly, so I guess I could be lying." Let me actually take my keys before I lock myself out of my car, though. I don't know. There she is. Or he. I don't know. We did the sneak peek test, which, again, you can find out the gender before 20 weeks. Like, who would have known these things? So a friend of mine does know the gender. She is refusing to tell me. So I am hoping for girl, obviously. Husband's obviously hoping for boy, because we are a one and done team up over here. So we will let you all know when it gets closer. As always, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I am available. Thanks, guys.